Time for our live mailbag here on Chat Sports. Appreciate you guys that tune in live with us every Friday and very soon, twice a week. And if you want to get on the show, use hashtag NBA to get your questions up here, and we'll answer anything that you've got, just like Skirmish 1 did. This question coming from Skirmish says, 3-team trade here. Oh, gotta buckle in, and here we go. 3-team trade here. Golden State receives Jared Allen, Spencer Dinwiddie, and Rodion Kurucs. The Nets get Victor Oladipo, and the Pacers get the Warriors' second overall pick. Producer Brett's waving his head, shaking his head. He says no deal at all. I don't think the Nets do this, first of all. I don't even know if the Warriors do this one either. I don't think anybody does this trade. I think all 3 teams could say no. The Warriors probably get the closest to saying yes. Dinwiddie and Jared Allen, that's a solid haul. The Nets really like Oladipo, but giving up your second-best scorer and your best rim protector probably isn't going to do it. Pacers get number 2. Unless they really like LaMelo Ball, I don't really see any reason for them doing that. So, sorry, Skirmish. I don't think this one gets it done. Let's go to Drew Ruley with the old throwback Warriors logo. Says, why has no one talked about the Warriors trading for Andre Drummond? That's a good point. I really haven't seen anybody that says Andre Drummond would be a good fit for this Warriors team, because everybody says, oh, go get Miles Turner, or oh, go draft James Wiseman, or draft Onyeka Okongwu. But nobody's like, hey, go trade for Drummond of the Cleveland Cavaliers. But I'll tell you why. Because he doesn't fit today's NBA. He's not a player that fits this NBA or Steve Kerr's offense as a whole. What does Steve Kerr like to do? Run, gun, and shoot. You know what Andre Drummond doesn't do well? He doesn't run well. He doesn't gun well. He doesn't shoot well. It's not an Andre Drummond skill. It's not what he does. He's a back-to-the-basket, traditional big man that rebounds well. Very valuable on the right team. The Warriors are not the right team. And what are you going to trade for him? The second pick? Absolutely freaking not. I'm not trading my second pick for him. And the Cavs, I don't think they really want Wiggins all that much, so I just don't think it works, but it's at least something to talk about. Now, speaking of the Warriors and that number 2 pick, what do you think they should do with it? Should they keep it, or should they trade it for an established player? Type T for trade, type your K for keep. I still think they should trade it. I am in the boat that, hey, give it up. Try to win now with your window of Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green for an established player, but don't just throw it away for anybody, like an Andre Drummond. Use it on somebody that you think can actually help you win right now, so be smart about it. But if you want to know what they're going to do with that, or what they're going to do with Wiggins, or what they're going to do in free agency, or anything else, make sure you subscribe to our Warriors-only channel. I love doing stuff over there. You Warriors fans are super passionate. Some of the best fans we have here on Chat Sports. Go to youtube.com/WarriorsTV. I'll be breaking down all things Warriors all the time with you guys on that channel. Rogue Brothers coming up with the first super chat on today's mailbag says, Westbrook, Gordon, and Covington to Orlando for Vucevic, Gordon, Bamba, Ross, and Aminu. This year's draft pick and next year's pick, James Harden plays point guard. Holy moly. A lot of moving pieces here. So Westbrook, Eric Gordon, and Robert Covington go to the Orlando Magic. You know, I think the Magic say no on this one because you're trading Vucevic, who's younger. You're trading Aaron Gordon, who's younger. You're trading Mo Bamba, who's younger. And you're trading Terrence Ross, even, who's younger. And you're trading a draft pick. I mean, heck, the Rockets could say no because I don't know if they feel good about that. But I think the Magic are the first one to hang up and say no on this one because do they want Westbrook? Do they want Eric Gordon and Robert Covington? Aren't you just the Rockets at that point when you trade for 3 of their starting 5? So, sorry, Rogue Brothers. I think the Magic might be out on this one. Jeff O'Baller says Gobert to the Clippers for Paul George. That'd be wild. Interestingly enough, I think the Jazz might say no on this one because who's in the middle for Utah? Like, your starting 5 is Donovan Mitchell, Joe Ingles, Paul George, Bojan Bogdanovic, and Royce O'Neal as a small ball 5. I don't know if Utah wants to do that. I think the whole Gobert and Donovan Mitchell feud is way overblown, so I think Utah's out on trading for Paul George. Luke Tops Donzingis, I love the name, very clever, says, is Rudy Gobert to the Mavs actually a thing? So, talk about Rudy Gobert here again. Listen, every year it's thrown out. The past 3 offseason it's been, hey, are they going to go out and get Rudy Gobert? Guys, the answer is no. Rudy Gobert is going to be a free agent next offseason. He's eligible for the Supermax with the Utah Jazz. If he gets traded anywhere, it's probably because he thinks he's going to get the Supermax from that team. And then you got to ask yourselves, are the Dallas Mavericks actually willing to commit $70 million combined per year to 2 7-footers in Rudy Gobert and Kristaps Porzingis? And the answer is no. Is Rudy Gobert a great rim protector? Yes. Is he an incredible player? Is he an all-star level player? Absolutely. Do I think he's one of the best defenders in the NBA? Potentially the best rim protector in the NBA? 100%. The problem is he doesn't fit this Mavericks team, and you can't pay 2 7-footers that much money. So is it actually a thing? Apparently they're talking, like there's teams talking about it. Not the Jazz, not the Mavs, just teams in general talking. So no, I don't think it's actually a thing, but we'll keep you updated with it on All Things Mavs. So if Luke Tops Don Zingas wants to keep up with All Things Mavs, go subscribe today to youtube.com/ guess what? All Things Mavs. That link's going to be in the comments and in the description. Make sure you subscribe today. And we're going to stick with the Mavs questions here from Ryan Vasquez. Jae Crowder and Goran Dragic to the Mavs. Please. I think Jae Crowder is less likely at this point because I do think he goes back to the Miami Heat. There's been a lot of talk between him and the Heat about going back for him, or about him returning back to South Beach. I think he'll stay. There have been whispers about Goran Dragic wanting to play with his mentoree, I guess is what you would call Luka Doncic, and I think that's very possible. But I wouldn't give Goran Dragic more than a 1-year deal. I'd sign him for a big 1-year deal, give him like $10+ million, but I wouldn't sign him beyond that. Give him 1 year and then see if he wants to come back after that. Let's go to Paul Christian, talking about a Mavs draft question. Can the Mavs trade up for Devin Vassel of Florida State? Man, I think that's the dream for the Mavs. We know they want to trade into the lottery. I know that they want to package 18 and 31 and try to move up to the lottery. But if you're going to get Vassel, I think you got to get top 10. And when you're looking at the top 10, you got to look at teams like, or top 12, excuse me, not 10. The Sacramento Kings, are they willing to trade down to get 2 picks? The San Antonio Spurs, are they willing to trade down and get 2 picks and potentially some players? I think you could do it potentially with the Kings at 12. I think that's possible, and I think that's right around Devin Vassel's range. But you got to trade 18, you got to trade 31, and you got to give up some kind of player. I'm not sure that's going to be, but I know the Mavs would love Devin Vassel. I know I would love Devin Vassel on this Mavs team. You know what else I love? Potentially getting back into NBA stadiums. And when we get there, we're going to have to be wearing these masks. I know, it stinks, but you got to do it. Go to chatsports.com/NBA mask. Get any of these awesome styles. They update them every single week. They give you new styles anytime. So chatsports.com/NBA mask. Get 1, 2 packs of 3 or packs of 4. My favorite thing, they're machine washable. You got to wear one every day. Throw it in the wash. Get up the next morning. It's clean. Smells fresh. And you don't get your stanky breath in your mask all the time. So chatsports.com/NBA mask. Isaiah Rosales coming in with the super chat says T-Wolves trade number 1 and number 17 and Culver to the Hawks for John Collins and number 6. Also, what's the news with Malik Beasley? Malik Beasley's probably never playing in the NBA again. He got drunk, he got high, he had drugs. I don't know exactly what happened, but there were a lot of bad things, and he's not playing in the NBA anymore, I would assume. But let's go back to the trade question. I think the Hawks say no. Number 1 overall. John Collins, they really like John Collins. Like, they love John Collins. He's a 20-point-per-game guy. And I don't think they're set on anyone at number 1 that's, like, going to change this team all that much. Man, I don't know, actually. Every time I talk about trades, I can talk myself into it. So I just don't know. Because if they get one, they take Anthony Edwards, and they can go Trae Young and Anthony Edwards and Jarrett Culver and DeAndre Hunter. Forget it. Call in the trade. Call it into the league office. It's getting done. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. All right? I think both teams could say yes. Good question there, Isaiah. Rogue Brothers coming in with another super chat. Appreciate you, Rogue Brothers. Says Celtics get Rudy Gobert and Mike Conley. Utah gets Kemba Walker and Cody Zeller. The Hornets, another 3-team trade here. The Hornets get Gordon Hayward the 14th, 23rd, and the 30th pick. So Celtics get Gobert and Conley. Here's the thing. Conley's a free agent, so there's no reason to trade for him. That's my only thing. So unless it's a sign-and trade. So let's just pretend it's a sign-and trade. We'll pretend that way. Utah gets Kemba Walker and Cody Zeller. Hornets get Hayward and those 3 picks. I don't hate this trade. I'm stumped. I'm stumped, Rogue Brothers. You stumped me again. This is a really good trade. I do think this could happen. But the only problem is Conley. But if you get Conley and Gobert and go Conley, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Rudy Gobert, and like throw in Marcus Smart into that starting five, that might get it done. This is a pretty good trade. You guys can decide who says no, because I can't figure it out. But good trade there, Rogue Brothers. Let's go to Mark White. Says 14th pick, Jaylen Brown from the Celtics to the Suns for Devin Booker. Suns say no, not enough for Devin Booker on this one. And I mean, the Celtics love Jaylen Brown. That 14th pick is whatever. But 14, Jaylen Brown, even if you combine both of those, not as good there. I think the Suns could get way better offers for Devin Booker on that one. Would the Celtics love to get Devin Booker? I'm sure they would, but just not very realistic. So, Mark, I'm afraid they say no, they being the Phoenix Suns on this one. But make sure you subscribe to our Celtics channel and stay up to date with that. And also, give me a player that you would build around in today's NBA. We've had some discussion here in the office about who we'd build around. Giannis, Luka. I've seen people say Jason Tatum. I've seen Devin Booker, and I've actually seen Donovan Mitchell thrown out there as well. Now, I wouldn't take Donovan Mitchell over any of those guys, but name one player right now, if you're starting a team, so you're the owner, you get to build the whole franchise on your own, one player you'd build around right now. Give me some shout-outs in the comments, or if you're watching live with us in the live chat as well, you know who I'm going with. His name rhymes with Shmuka Shmancic, so figure it out from there. Let's go to William M. Says, do you think Westbrook will get moved before the season starts, and if so, where? I don't think Westbrook will get moved. Obviously, a lot of speculation going on around him, but I don't think the Rockets are dead set on giving up on the Westbrook-Harden experiment quite yet. I think they'll stick with it and keep on going and keep on trying a little bit more. Do I think it's going to work? No. If he does get moved, play the hypothetical game, I think it's New York. That is the only team realistically that I could see actually trading for him, but I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon. Zay's View says, super chat, by the way. Thank you, Zay's View. Who should be, or who would be the best players to add to the Raptors lineup besides Giannis? If they could add anybody, I think it has to be a wing because, you know, they're set at guard with Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet. They're set at the big man position with Pascal Siakam, probably bringing back Serge Ibaka. You know what would be perfect? Kawhi Leonard, interestingly enough, but I know that's not very realistic. Man, if they could somehow find a way to steal Brandon Ingram away from the Pelicans, that would be perfect to stay young, but I just don't think it's very possible. But a wing, some kind of wing player, would be perfect in Toronto. Let's go to Joel Galakpo. Says, James Harden to the 76ers. Well, Joel, interestingly enough, I did a whole show on this. I broke it all down. I gave my entire trade scenario for how the 76ers could get James Harden. So that probably means you're not subscribed. That's okay. We're not going to hold it against you. But make sure you subscribe and turn on those notifications because if they're not on, that's why you miss those kind of videos. So go back, check it out. You can see my trade idea. But here's a little hint. Probably ain't going to happen. But subscribe because if it does happen, we'll be live for that trade. Jacob Franklin says, who's the best player the Rockets can sign with their mid-level exception? Danilo Gallinari? I guess would kind of be the answer, but like I don't know what they're going for. I don't know if they're done with the small ball rotation. If they're done with the small ball, go out and get a big man. Even a Nerlens Noel could fit well on that team if they're truly trying to find some kind of big man. Maybe another wing like a Jae Crowder or a scoring guard off the bench like Jordan Clarkson if Austin Rivers decides to leave. I do think Gallinari would fit well on that team, though, off the bench, or even in the starting lineup, and maybe you bring a guy like Eric Gordon off the bench. But I don't know what the Rockets – this is going to be a weird offseason for the Rockets. I just got to be honest with you. Clayton Boatman says, let me guess, Christian Wood going to the Mavs? That's not my prediction for Christian Wood. I don't think the Mavs will end up signing him. Would I love for the Mavs to try to go out and get him? Yeah, I think it'd be a perfect fit there. But I don't think they're going to because he's a big man and – just kind of redundant with Kristaps Porzingis. I think off the bench he would be perfect for that Mavericks team, but I think he's going to go somewhere else. I don't think the Mavs are going to offer the kind of money that Christian Wood is looking to get. But good question, Clayton. No, he ain't going to Dallas. Samir Tojaga says, Joe Harris to the Lakers. The only way this happens is A, a sign and trade, or B, he signs the mid-level. B, not going to happen. A, what are you going to offer the Nets? So I don't know. I don't know if I think this is a no. I think the Lakers would love to have him on their team. I think he'd be perfect. I think he would help their shooting problems a ton. But Joe Harris is going to get some money. I mean, he's going to get paid in the offseason, and I don't think the Lakers have the money to pay him. Stick with the Lakers questions here from Coach Dreadhead. Lakers trade Kuzma to the Grizzlies for Dillon Brooks and that's supposed to be Josh Jackson, not Justin Jackson, and 2 future picks. Way too much to give up for the Grizzlies. Dylan Brooks is better than Kyle Kuzma is right now. Josh Jackson's kind of a bum, but Kyle Kuzma is not worth 2 first-round picks, just to be honest with you. Maybe Josh Jackson and 2 picks, but not Dylan Brooks. They like Dylan Brooks a lot. I don't think that's a fit for the Lakers on that one. Rogue Brothers coming in with the super chat says Mavs trade Dwight Powell, DeLon Wright, Justin Jackson, and Maxi Kleber, and their first-round pick for Wiggins and the number 2 pick. I hate to break it to you, but that is not enough for Wiggins and the number 2 pick. I think the Mavs would probably say yes. I know I would say yes from the Dallas Mavericks because I like Dwight Powell. Listen, I like all the role players on the Dallas Mavericks, but if you're a Dallas Mavericks fan, you know this better than anyone. Mavs overvalue their own role players. The Warriors are going to get way better offers for the number 2 pick and Andrew Wiggins. Dwight Powell, not moving the needle. Maybe he upgrades them in the big man. Maxi Kleber definitely is an upgrade, and the 18th pick is a nice asset. But DeLon Wright and Justin Jackson, not really doing much for the Warriors on that one.